Today I'm going to be convincing you that you should start dyeing your clothes. I have done this once before, actually in the last video that I posted, the green top that I was wearing. Originally that was kind of like this really tan color that was a little too close to my skin color, but I really liked the neckline when I tried it on at the thrift store. I see people dye garments all the time online to make them a totally different color, and I wanted to try it and see how it would work, and I really like how it turned out. And so I have a couple other pieces in my closet that I've thrifted that I really like the way they fit on me, but for whatever reason I don't really like the color, and so I don't wear it. And one of them being this dress. I'm just gonna put in some pictures and videos of what it actually looks like on me. I like the dress, and like I said, I really like the way it fits me, but the colors are really bright, and while I do really like to wear bright colors, I usually like to wear bright jewel tones, and these colors lean a little bit closer to the neon side of things. It also doesn't really fit with any of the other clothes that I have in my wardrobe, so it's difficult for me to find things to style it with. But like I said, I really like the way the dress fits, and so I'd like to actually try and get some use out of it. And so I'm gonna see if I can dye it like this deep chocolate brown, which I think would be really pretty for fall. First, let's head to Joann's and let's get the dye. I hope they're not out of it. They better not be out of it.
Well, as it turns out, they were in fact out of the dye that I needed. But I was like, oh, this is no problem. I'll just get the brown all-purpose dye, right? Wrong. This was a mistake. Because as soon as I got home, I remembered that the dress I'm dyeing is polyester, and you can't use all-purpose dye on polyester, you have to use synthetic dye. So we took a trip to a different Joann's up in Philly, and look at that, they had the right dye. Amazing, perfect, yay, now we can actually get started on this project. Okay, so now that we're getting started, you are going to need measuring spoons, your choice of dye, again I have the brown dye, rubber gloves, tongs, the garment you're wanting to dye, and of course the vessel you're using to dye your garment. As you can see, I'm using a pot. Fill the pot with water and get it to just below boiling. Give it a little pat for encouragement if it's taking too long. Once the water's ready, add 1 teaspoon of dish detergent and then shake your dye very well. Shake that bitch like a Polaroid picture. Except don't get too cocky like I did and let your water overboil. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, now add in your dye. I used the whole bottle because I wanted the color to be really dark. And then you're going to want to stir your dye and make sure that it's all mixed in evenly. Put on your gloves and then add your garment in carefully, making sure it's not super folded. You want it to get as much dye all over the entire surface of the garment as possible. Stir your garment regularly for 30 to 60 minutes, depending on the darkness of your desired color, and keep in mind that the garment will be lighter in color once it's dry. Stirring the dye bath regularly is what helps to ensure an even color across the entirety of the garment, and it helps to avoid any sort of darker or lighter patches within the garment. Once your garment is dyed to your desired color, go ahead and dump out the dye bath into a stainless steel or basin sink and rinse your garment until the water runs clear. If you're using synthetic dye, make sure that you start rinsing with hot water and then slowly transition to cold water as the water begins to run clear. Once the water does run clear, go ahead and wring out your garment of any excess water and hang dry on a plastic hanger. And then this is what my dress looked like once it was fully dry. I absolutely love it. It's so pretty, and you can still see all the tiny little flower details, which is absolutely lovely.
Uh-oh, outro time. She's in a completely different location. And the bed is creaking because it's old and it's gonna do that, so. Okay, so final thoughts. This is my second time dyeing a garment to be a different color, and I have a couple pieces of advice that I just want to give that I've learned now from the second time of doing this. Also, if you hear laughing in the background, it's my sister talking with all of her friends because she's significantly cooler than I am. Anyways, number 1, don't overfill the vessel that you are using to dye the garment. I had this problem last night when I was dyeing the dress, and this is what happened. So yeah, it happened several times actually. So I would definitely say don't overfill whatever it is that you're using, and do keep in mind that the dye that you're using is liquid. And even if it's a powder dye, you have to put the dye in liquid first and then put it into more liquid in the dye bath. So, and then remember that this also takes up space. Whatever you're dyeing takes up space. And so there's a possibility that it could cause the pot or bucket or bowl or whatever it is to overflow. And so you want to make sure that you're not doing that, so you don't have to worry about cleaning the dye up. If you've dyed it, it's important that you, number one, don't wash it with anything white or very light colored, and two, I would recommend washing it with some old towels. This is also what Rit Dye says on their website. Those are my final couple thoughts. I have to say that I absolutely love dyeing clothing now, and that's why I'm telling you that you should do it. It's super fun. It's a really neat way to make clothing your own, and it's cool to be able to take something that maybe you wouldn't wear as often and make it into something that you will. So that's all for today. I do hope that you try this because it really is a lot of fun, and I've enjoyed doing it, and I'm gonna be a menace now and do it with like everything that I am. If you like this video, subscribe, and I will see you next time.